For more details on the Tennessee shootings, VOA's Carla Babb joins us live via Skype from the Pentagon. Carla, what more our military officials are saying about these shootings?
Well, right now, officials are still cautioning that there is nothing at this point that has tied the shooter to any sort of terrorist organization or any sort of Islamic extremist organization. Right here at the Pentagon, General Ray Odierno, who is the chief of the Army, has called on an investigation into the security of these recruitment centers. The shootings did not happen on a secure base. The shootings happened at a recruiting center that was in a strip mall, and then at an operational center for the Navy that was also not on the base. So the Army and others are looking into, is this a safe environment, and what more will need to be done security-wise to protect our service members?
So at this point, what do we really know about the shooter, Muhammad Yusuf Abdulaziz?
Well, the shooter is a 24-year-old. He was a 24-year-old. He was an Arab American. He was born in Kuwait, and he had lived for many years in the United States outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He was considered a nice, quiet guy by friends. He was a wrestler. He had graduated from college. Recently, he had made some changes. Some of his friends had noted that he had gone from being clean-shaven to having a beard. He had gone from recently regularly attending a local mosque. But even still, no one says that there was any notice of any sort of extremist activities. Recently on a blog, he posted in July that life was bitter and short. So we can't decide at this time. There's no way to determine whether or not he was just a disgruntled American or he had some sort of ties to other groups.
So at this point, there are many unanswered questions, but what are investigators focusing on really?
Investigators are focusing on the motive. This is a clear-cut situation where there have been 4 Marines that have tragically lost their lives. They know who the shooter is. The shooter has now been deceased. He was shot by local authorities. So that is off the table. We know who committed the crime. We don't know why he did it. So investigators are trying to figure out what was happening in the last days of this 24-year-old. What made him go out and shoot people that, as far as authorities know at this point, he didn't even know.
So what can you tell us in terms of the type of security that are in place in military recruitment centers?
Well, Colonel Steve Warren explained this to me late last night. He's a Pentagon spokesperson, and he says that these are not facilities that are guarded, that have gates, that have any type of armed people there protecting them. They're not set up that way. They're recruiting centers. This is a place where young men and women can come to learn about the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force as a career. So it has to be open and accessible to the public. So the General Ray Odierno was warning, we do have to look at the security, but we have to make sure, the Army has to make sure that if you add additional security, that it's not doing more harm than good for the services.
Absolutely. Carla, thank you so much for your reporting.